Effective operations, customer service. Customer service. This is a service given to customers before, during and after the purchase to a standard which meets the expectations of the customer. So notice that this is a process that starts before and after the purchase takes place. Typical examples of customer service can be offering advice pre-sales so that they're ensured that the customers are actually buying an item that meets their needs. So you're not trying to sell the most expensive item in the shop, but you're actually trying to sell the item that best meets the needs of the customer. So in the long term, they feel like they're being more valued and respected, and they're more likely to come back and repurchase from your organisation. Also, it could be things such as having a helpline to answer questions after the customer's purchased a product. There's nothing probably more frustrating as a customer when you can't use that item and you spent a large amount of money on this. So, typically investing in a helpline, again, makes a customer feel more valued and gives them an added feeling they're getting added value from the item they've got. And, it generally helps to build the whole brand image of the organisation. And of course, dealing with customers' issues. So sometimes things will go wrong, but it's how you manage those situations. So ensuring you obviously follow the legislation that's set out, so the Sale of Goods Act, but also ensuring that customers feel like you're treating them in the appropriate way. And again, tends to be if they feel like they're being treated correctly, the item may have been faulty, they won't blame you, and they're more likely to come back and recommend you because you sort problems out. So again, a great way to add value to your business. Okay, so how do businesses typically go about meeting customers' expectations? You tend to find there's three ways. They'll always do market research. They'll carry out customer surveys, customer questionnaires. They may even get focus groups together, so they get people in the same room and they'll ask them their thoughts and opinions on the business and maybe the strengths and weaknesses, and they'll try and adapt any of those areas they find and try and make change within the organisation to make improvements that are going to benefit the business overall. Training. They may adopt a policy of staff training to ensure that staff actually know what makes good customer service. There's no point assuming staff know what is good customer service. You probably need to give them training in that and make sure that it fits in with the organisational culture. However, the drawback of this is it's vastly expensive to do training. So again, you've got to consider, is the labour turnover quite low in the organisation, so it's worth investing in that training? But then what are the costs of not investing in the training? And that's where you've got to play it off. Will it damage your brand image? And of course, the quality assurance and control systems you've got in place. It's perfectly reasonable to ensure that your staff are going to get it right the first time. If they don't get it right the first time, you may not get another chance. Customers may go elsewhere to your competitors and they may not recommend you, and that could damage your overall brand and your reputation. So how do you go about monitoring customer service? An organisation is going to monitor its levels of customer service. Now, what they'll tend to do is things like, you must have heard about it, things like mystery shoppers. They may do satisfaction surveys. They may actually ask their customers to fill in a survey once they've purchased. Or more commonly now, they use mobile phone or internet to ask you to feedback on your opinion. They'll put some sort of competition involved in that so that you're more likely to take place. They may do a focus group so they get all the customers together who purchased a few years ago to come together and feedback on their opinions. Or they could do what they call tracking surveys, where they continually do surveys throughout the year to see what your feedback is. Typically, car companies are good at this. They'll ring you up in 3 months, 6 months, and a year's time to get your opinions on the car and your feedback. You can use any of this feedback for marketing to give you a USP, so quote it. Or you can also use it to improve your quality and your operation, so acting on that feedback. It does actually provide some real benefits. However, again, it's costly. It's time consuming, so you've got to consider playing this off against the two sides. Improving customer service. Typical ways that customer service can be improved in an organisation tends to be improving the quality of the product or service you offer, giving your customers better value, improving the speed of your customer service, so the way that you deliver your product, having more friendly staff, being very efficient with handling complaints, or actually being more efficient with handling complaints, or actually having better trained staff or competent staff is quite important. Okay, that's it. You should now be able to define customer service and assess the benefits it provides for an organisation. You should also be able to provide methods to monitor and improve customer service and think about how this impacts the overall USP of the organisation in general. Don't forget to follow me on Twitter and subscribe to my YouTube channel. And you can tweet me anytime you want to ask any questions about business. Also check out my website, BeeBusinessBee.co.uk.